Hello students, how are you all? I hope now most of the students have started attending the classes. Okay. So students, today we will start with a new chapter, that is metals and non-metals. Can any one of you tell me one difference between element and compound? We have discussed about elements, compounds and mixture in class 9th. So any one difference between element and compound? Element is a substance which consists of same type of particles called as atoms. And compound is a substance which is made up of more than one element. And the elements are chemically combined or chemically bonded together in a fixed ratio. Any one example of solution from everyday life can you give? Only one example I am asking you of solutions, and that also from your everyday life. I expect all the students know the answer, and I want answer from all the students, those who are attending this online class. And this is very simple question, and I will not tell you the answer for this question now. Children, chemical element. A chemical element is a substance consisting of only one type of atom. Okay, atom is a pure. If a chemical element is pure, then it is made up of only one type of atoms. Or you can also say, in the chemical element, all the atoms, they have the same atomic number. Okay, because you know the atomic number is different for different elements. So in a particular element, if it contains all the atoms, it contains same type of atoms, so definitely the atomic number will be same. Okay, and there are actually 118 known elements. Now children, there are 118 known elements, and it is difficult to remember the properties, name and symbols of all the elements. So just for the simplicity and for our convenience, the elements are divided into three groups based on the similarity in their properties. The three groups in which elements are divided are metals, non-metals and metalloids. You can even see the picture. Out of 118 elements, some of the elements, they may have same properties. Some may differ in one or two properties, but most of the properties are similar. So those elements are placed in one group, metals. Same way, non-metals and metalloids. Okay. Now we will today children we will study only, or we will discuss only the physical properties of metals and non-metals. Chemical properties we will discuss in next class. Luster. What do you mean by luster? Luster means shine. So if the metals are in their pure state, then they generally shine. Okay. Another property of metals is malleability. Children, when the metals are hammered, okay, they change into thin sheets, and this property is called as malleability. Okay, example is silver metal. When silver metal is beaten or hammered, it changes into silver foil. Aluminium metal, it can be changed into aluminium foil. You can even see in the picture also, gold metal, when it is hammered, it is changing into a plain sheet, a thin sheet. Okay, and you know that gold and silver are the most malleable metals, and you can see the image also. Another property of metal is ductility. Ductility refers to that property of a metal in which the metals, they are drawn into wires, or you can also say the metals are changed into wires. Again you can see the image, the picture here. It is copper wire. Okay, copper, example is copper and iron wires, and even in the image also this is a copper wire. So they are drawn into wire, that is why they are also used for in electricity. Okay. Now children, conductivity. What do you mean by conductivity? To conduct. Conductivity means to allow the passage of anything. The metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. So what does it mean? That the metals, they allow the heat to pass through them, and they also allow the electricity to pass through them. So they are good conductors of heat and electricity, and the best conductor of electricity are silver and copper. So that is why copper is generally used for in electricity wiring. Okay, because first of all it can be drawn into wires, and it's a good conductor of electricity, and it is also a good conductor of heat. That is why it is also used to in cooking vessels. Okay. Now, but children, lead and mercury are also metals, but they are poor conductors of electricity. And the metals, they have high melting point, except cesium and gallium. They are the exceptions, and you should remember the exceptions. Okay, and these two metals, that is cesium and gallium, have very low melting point. Okay, high melting point means what? Means they need a high amount of heat to change from solid to liquid. Okay, to melt. Now children, just see this experiment. Okay, you can see in the image, or you can also see in the slide, or you can also refer the book, that is page number 38, figure 3.1. So the figure is same. Now here this is an experiment setup which shows that metals are good conductors of heat. Now here you can see a clamp stand. It is a one stand. Now here what you have to do, you take a aluminium or a copper wire and clamp this wire on the stand. Okay, as it is shown. You can see this one rod is there. Okay, it is actually the wire. You can also take a rod also. Wire also you can take, but better you take wire, because rod will be get more heated. So you take wire and you clamp it in this way as it is shown. Now can you tell me why we are using copper or aluminium wire? Because copper and aluminium are metals and they are good conductors of heat. So we have set up the experiment which shows that metals are good conductors of heat. Okay, now after that you fix a pin to the free end of the wire using wax. You can see here the free end. So you fix pin. You can instead of fixing one pin, you can fix more pins also. 5, 6 pins also you can fix with the help of a wax. Okay. Now you heat the wire with the spirit lamp or a candle or the burner near the place where it is clamped. Is it clear? What you will observe? After some time you will observe that the pins will fall down. Why? Because the wax will melt. And why wax will melt? Because the other end of the wire, it gets heated up. And why it gets heated up? Because as I told you that metals are good conductors of heat. So it is heated at that point which is near the clamp. Okay, and this heat is transferred. So this aluminium or the copper wire has allowed the heat to pass through it. Okay, and it has reached near the free end of the wire, and the wax is melted, and the pins have fallen down. Actually whole of this aluminium or the copper wire will get heated up. Okay, so it shows that the metals are good conductors of heat. Okay, now children, metals are good conductors of electricity also. Okay, here also you just see this experiment which is shown in the slide, or you can also refer the book page number 39, figure 3.2. Okay, you just set up the electric circuit as it is shown here. Here they have taken battery, then there is a bulb and the wire is used. Now this wire is of metals, and at the end there are two clips of metals. Now in the center there is a gap. Okay, here you place any metal, but you place it in such a way that the metal touches the clips. You will observe that the bulb will glow. which shows that the electricity from the battery, electric current is passing through, it is reaching the clips, it is reaching the metal, and the metal is allowing that current to pass through it. So it is moving, following the path of the circuit, and it is reaching the bulb and the bulb glow. So which shows that metals are good conductors of electricity. Now if in the space, if you will place non-metal, let us say you place sulfur powder, you will see sulfur powder in such a way that it touches both the end of the clips. You will see that the bulb will not glow because it is not allowing the electric current to pass through it. So which shows that non-metals are poor conductors of electricity. And metals are good conductors of electricity, children. That is why generally the cooking vessels are made up of metals. You can say copper based metal, copper based vessels, aluminium vessels. So because they pick up the heat, they conduct the heat, they get heated up, and that heat they transfer to the food that is cooked in them. Okay, I hope it is clear to everyone. Then another property of metal is sonorous. Sonorous means what? On being struck hard, they produce one type of a ringing sound, and that is why they are called as sonorous. Okay, for example, the school bell, it produces a loud ringing sound which you hear before only. Before the sound is produced, now you start hearing the sound. Okay, so it produces a loud ringing sound when struck with a hammer hard. So this is also one. Even in the temple also, bells are made up of metals. Okay, now the state. Whether the metals exist in a solid, whether they are liquid or whether they are gases. Okay, now except mercury, all the metals are solid. Mercury is in a liquid state at room temperature, and metals are hard. They cannot be cut with knife except sodium and potassium. Now we will read the physical properties of non-metals. Children, non-metals are generally, when hammered, they are changed into a powdery substance. Okay, example, coal and sulfur. But diamond is an exception. Diamond is actually made up of carbon, and carbon is a non-metal. So diamond is the hardest non-metal. So when it is hammered or when it is tapped, it does not change to a powdery substance. Non-metals may be, generally non-metals are solids or gases, except bromine, which is a liquid. Non-metals, this I have told you before also, they are poor conductors of heat and electricity, except graphite. Okay, graphite in your pencil nib, that is graphite. So that is a good conductor of electricity, and they do not possess metallic luster. They are not lustrous, except iodine. Okay, iodine is a non-metal which shines. Non-metals are not sonorous. They do not produce ringing sound. They are not malleable, and non-metals are not ductile. Okay, so some of the examples of non-metals are oxygen, sulfur, carbon, phosphorus, and many more. So students, today we will discuss only about the physical properties of metals and non-metals. In the next class, we will study the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. So I have given one very short assignment. So I expect you to do it. Okay, because now after hearing the audio and video, watching video, so if you know the answers, okay, you can do it now also, and you can submit it in the evening, but submit children 10 or 15 minutes before. Okay, and just write the answer to the point. No need to write big paragraphs. Okay, and if any one of you have any doubt, you are free to ask. Okay, thank you children.